Good morning. We are extremely pleased that you are here. It is good to come together for the purpose of co-creating. Do you agree? Yes. We were having such a nice conversation with Esther, she almost forgot you were here. You are knowing what you are wanting? It moves about, yes. Do you understand that you are vibrational beings who live in a universe that is vibrationally based, and that you are continually offering or emitting a vibrational signal which equals your point of attraction? If you understand that, then we're done. It's been really good for us. Was it good for you? The reason that we begin there is because a lot of people are now discussing the subject of law of attraction. But we want you to understand that law of attraction is simply a responsive law to frequencies. And you have two vibrational frequencies that are working in concert with one another at all times, which equals your point of attraction. The two frequencies that are going on within you, sort of like the two frequencies that go on in anything, both sides of the wave. You are source energy, and you are offering a frequency from that non-physical perspective. Now, a lot of times, once you're in your physical body and you look around at others who are in their physical bodies, you say, well, here we are physical, and sometimes you speak of non-physical, but you usually speak of it as either or. There's dead or alive, there's physical or non-physical. And we want you to contemplate with us the idea of a source energy, source meaning the source of that which you are. And source energy doesn't mean it was source and now here you are and there is no longer source. When there is a source, when there is a headwaters, in other words, when the source of the mountain stream is no longer sourcing, the stream dries up. And you don't look dried up to us. You are extensions of source energy. So we want you to contemplate these two vibrational aspects. There's the part of you that was before you were born, but still remains as a non-physical source energy, even though you are here in this physical body. And then there's this energy that you are offering as a result of what you are contemplating. And thought is what equals the vibration that is being offered. So there is source thought, and there is the thought that you are thinking in your physical human body at any point in time. And those two frequencies equal in their relationship to one another your point of attraction. Those two vibrational vantage points in their relationship with each other equal your point of attraction. Now, as you came forth into this physical body, you knew that what you focused upon here in this physical time-space reality would be your dominant vibrational point of attraction. In other words, you get what you think about. But because you cannot separate yourself from what source thinks about what you're thinking about, you're always getting this vibrational play. What you're thinking about something and what source is thinking about what you're thinking about something. Now, source is not thinking about what you're thinking about. Source is thinking about what you're thinking about from the perspective that source thinks about it. Did you follow that? In other words, when you're thinking about something and it's making you really mad, source is thinking about the same subject, but source is thinking about the solution end of it, not the problem end of it. When you're thinking about not enough money, you have long since offered a vibrational rocket that is sent into this vortex of creation that you'll be hearing a lot about here today. And the source part of you focuses upon the solution to the problem that you've focused upon. Source focuses upon the answer to the question that you're focused upon. So source is focused upon the same thing you're focused upon, just not in the way you are focused upon it, although it could. You could tune yourself to the frequency that source is focused. You could become such a chronic lover that when you focus and love, you could be focused exactly as source is on the subject that you're focused upon. And when that happens, you would feel an emotion that would confirm that you were on point with source. When you are being a lover, the reason it feels like love, or the reason it feels like appreciation, or the reason it feels like joy is because there's no screwy stuff going on in your vibration. You are not offering resistance like you do when you're hating or fearing. So when you're loving, when you are focused upon something and you feel the emotion of love, the very emotion that you feel is your indicator of your relationship with how Source is looking at it. Now, the reason that we are beginning here, we know many of you have been listening to us for a while. And you are aware of law of attraction. You are aware of the vortex. You are aware that you were source energy before you came into this body, and that this environment has caused you to ask for all kinds of improvements, which Source is now also in vibrational concert with. You know that when you continue to beat the drum of a problem, long after Source is completely embodied in the solution, that your attention to the problem just holds you apart from the solution. You get that, and we've been talking with great deliberate emphasis in order to help you realize consciously the two vibrational aspects of that which you are. But today, we think it is of enormous value for you to simplify your whole understanding of deliberate creation and of the art of allowing and of law of attraction and of the vortex. We think it would be really practical and beneficial to you if you would decide for the next 30 days to consider your point of attraction. What is in my physical body, what is my point of attraction? When we talk about you being the creator of your own reality, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about you giving your attention to something. And because you're giving your attention to something, you're offering a vibration which equals your point of attraction. It's such an interesting thing to watch these people in the Gulf of Mexico who want more than life itself to stop that gushing oil well, who are attempting to do so in an avalanche of not well wishes. If there were ever an impossible thing going on, it is that. Because how could anyone buck the current of ill intent? How could anyone buck the current of the not well wishes, of the blame pointers and of the victims? And we're not saying that all of that isn't valid and all of that isn't real. We're just saying that you can't buck your own current. In other words, when you are worried about a problem and the problem is what you're focused upon, and as you focus upon the problem, it consumes your point of attraction. Even though the bigger the problem gets, the more of a solution you ask for, you hold yourself away from the solution as long as you are focused upon the problem. And it's such an interesting thing that CNN clearly does not understand. MSNBC clearly does not understand it. Fox News, ABC, NBC, CBS, they clearly do not understand that you cannot focus upon the what I don't want part of the equation and get what you do want. And so it's such an interesting thing as millions of people are focused tenaciously, hour after hour, minute by minute, on a problem and railing and writhing and suffering and pointing and blaming and condemning and beating the drum of we don't want this and we shouldn't have gotten this and how did this happen and this should never have happened. As a global society, you are holding yourselves in vibrational opposition to a solution that is already in the vortex of creation. Now, many would say, show us the solution. Show us the solution. And we just want you to understand that anytime a problem is coming into focus, a solution is coming into focus too. This isn't just a solution coming into focus about how to stop a gushing oil well. This is a solution about global ecology. This is a solution about the economy relative to the fuel or the energy industry. In other words, there is so much more going on at the bottom of the ocean in the Gulf of Mexico. There is so much more going on than just a gushing oil well. That is the manifestational result of a chaotic energy around the subject of ecology, global warming, around the subject of economy, oil, around the subject of ecology, oil versus solar versus natural gas. In other words, there have been billions of people who are in on this process, who know what they don't want, who know what they do want, who are all part of everything that happens on the planet today. Now, it may feel overwhelming as you watch something that you clearly can't do anything about. And what we want to say to you is, manage your own point of attraction. You must manage your own point of attraction. So as you watch those television programs and you are paying attention to the way you feel as you are watching them, a feeling of interest means you're still in the vortex. A feeling of anger means you're right out of the vortex. A feeling of blame means you're out of the vortex. A feeling of hope means you're hovering on the edge of the vortex. But what we are saying to you, we are not wanting you to manage your point of attraction in order to fix what's going on there in the Gulf, because what's going on there in the Gulf is a global consciousness creation that is in the process of finding solution. And it is our promise to you that the solution is forthcoming and that the long-term ramifications of this will not be as death-defying as many are pointing them out to be. In other words, it's going to be all right. Really, it's going to be all right. Really, it's going to be all right. Really, it's going to be all right. But what's going on there is really beside the point that we are making here. The point that we are making here is it's time for you. And maybe that's another big benefit of this problem that is giving birth to a solution, because every time a problem is coming into focus, a solution is too. You must come round to finally deciding that you are going to manage your own point of attraction, which means you have to adjust the way you think and therefore feel about everything. Because the way you think and therefore feel about everything equals your point of attraction. It doesn't matter if you're angry because of something that you can't do anything about in the Gulf of Mexico. You're still messed up your point of attraction. You're still denying things that you want because of your vibration being tuned out of sync with who you are. It doesn't matter if you're upset because of something that's happening to your neighbor or to one of your children or to your parents. It doesn't matter how close or how removed the subject of your negative turmoil is. Negative turmoil going on in you is an indicator that your point of attraction is messed up. Your point of attraction is off the beam from who you are. And if you don't care about your point of attraction, if you're more interested in joining the clamoring of the blamers or the finger pointers on any subject in the world, whether it's a bad baseball call or whether it's something going on with your ecology where the shores of your Gulf Coast are being covered in oil. It does not matter how justified you feel you are in your negative emotion. And we want to say to you, friends, we have never ever seen one of you in the midst of strong negative emotion that you weren't justified in it, because you don't want those things to happen. And when you feel bad, it's because you're looking right at something that you don't want to happen or you don't want to have happened. We just want you to know that all you can do anything about is your point of attraction. And that's not just an all you can do. It's everything to you. Because if you learn to manage your point of attraction, if you learn to manage the way you feel by being positive aspect oriented, if you learn to manage the way you feel by being selectively sifting on the subjects that you focus upon, if you care about how you feel and you learn to train yourself subject by subject, thought by thought, into vibrational alignment with who you really are and what you really want. If you learn to train yourself into vibrational alignment with the way the source within you sees, then you are doing what you intended to do. You are managing your point of attraction.